how do we start a habit? Something doesn't just become a habit if we only perform an action. You see, an epiphany for me here was that the biggest blocker to action is our fear. So first we need to recognize that the fear exists, the resistance exists. And only then you can try to overcome it. But even once you overcome the fear and resistance and you perform the action, you still need one more thing for it to have a chance of becoming something we like doing and potentially a habit. And that thing is a reward. You must get rewarded for performing the action to start to even begin creating the habit loop. Okay, so now I'm sure at this point you're wondering, how do I overcome the fear? And what are some ways to get rewards? So let's cover that. And again, remember, we're going to get very tactical. So the first fundamental truth you must understand about groups around overcoming fear is that overcoming fear in groups is about finding the right words to use, delivering them with confidence, and doing it a few times so you can convince yourself that it isn't going to kill you. You're going to be just fine. So one of the things I cover extensively in my course, for instance, is that most problems that smart and talented people encounter when working in a group are actually messaging problems. Most problems that you encounter are actually messaging problems. So let's take a concrete example here of what that means. So you see, if we want to have a more effective meeting and end the meeting with clarity on decisions made, action items, and owners, all we really need is the right words. So here there are two scenarios depending on whether or not you're leading the meeting and what you might say in each scenario. So the first scenario is like, if you're leading the meeting, these are the words that'll make it much less awkward, that will help you cut through that fear or resistance. What these words enable you to do is to get rid of any awkwardness. So if you're leading the meeting, these are approximately the types of words that'll help you. If you're not leading the meeting, there's a different set of words. They're similar, but they're different. Now, I know none of this is rocket science. But trust me, most of the times that people are hesitating here is because they are actually at a loss for words. They don't know what it is they can say such that it doesn't feel awkward, such that it doesn't feel like they're being mean or they're being too dominant, etc., etc. Now, so that was about messaging, right? That was about overcoming the fear. Now let's talk about how we can reward ourselves. So first thing you need to understand about rewards is there are two types of rewards. There are personal rewards, which is how good do you feel within yourself after performing a certain action? How can you make yourself even feel more good after doing an action, especially an action you were fearing? And then there's social rewards, right? Those are given to us by our external environment, by our peers and colleagues and managers and CEO. Now, we all crave both types of rewards, but figure out for yourself which type of reward is your primary motivator and accept it, whatever it is. So, because once you understand what your primary motivator is, you need to get very good at getting that type of reward and creating that type of reward for yourself if you want to create a habit. So now let me share a few examples of what my favorite rewards are. So first, when I want to reward myself for completing an action that I've been avoiding, maybe because of fear or procrastination, here's the thing that works very well for me: boba tea at the end of the action, and it feels great. Now I know this thing has 1,000,000 calories, etc., but it is my reward. If I reward myself sparingly with it, I've found that it does wonders in terms of reinforcing an action and creating a habit around it. I also like to do mini rewards for myself during my workday, like watching YouTube, especially highlights of my favorite sports teams, catching up on those, or videos I've saved for the very purpose, of rewarding myself in my watch list. And of course, I will use Twitter as a reward as well. Knowing me, this should not come as a surprise to anyone.